Hello everyone and welcome back to the Geek Blend, another video during the 31 days of Halloween. Today's review, we're going to be talking about Rob Zombie's Halloween that was released back in 2007. You guys know me, you guys know I'm a fan of the Halloween franchise. I wear Halloween t-shirts all the time, I like some of the stuff that they put out. I have some Halloween memorabilia on the other side of the room that you can't see, I might show off sometime. But I'm a huge fan of the franchise, even the bad ones. Except this one. I hate this movie. So we're going to review this movie, but it's my chance to shred this movie and tear it apart because it deserves every bit of what I'm about to give to it. Alright, so let's get into it. This was directed by Rob Zombie and stars a bunch of people who should not be in this movie or shouldn't be acting in general. I'm talking about you, Scout Taylor Thompson, who plays Laurie Strode. One of the worst casting choices I've ever seen. She's just way too out there with the acting. I don't like her style of acting. I don't like her performance in this character at all. Like, it's just not a great performance. It's very, like, sporadic, and I just don't like it. There's a couple of scenes specifically I might show to give you an idea of how much I hate it. It gets way worse in the Halloween sequel, but she's really bad in this. But before we get into her and the second half of this movie, let's get into the first half of it. It starts out where we get introduced to the Rob Zombie trope. The white trash, trailer trash, over-the-top family. And holy shit, is it way over the top. Way over the top. I mean, just, oh god, I hate this family that they introduce. I hate all of them. I don't care if they die. In fact, you're supposed to introduce families and people in horror films that you don't want to see die. Every one of these people I hate. I'm like, cool, yeah, about time. Fucking kill them. Kill them all. Because I hate every single one of these characters in this film. It is an absolute trash film in my opinion. Rob Zombie should not have gone anywhere near this franchise. I don't know what he was thinking. We know he must not like the Halloween franchise that much, even though he claims to, because when they give him a sequel to the film, he openly makes a shitty film because he's mad they wanted him to make a sequel. You're given the Halloween franchise, and this is what you do. You make The Devil's Rejects combined with 31, combined with all your other shitty movies, except for a couple. I do like a couple of his movies, but not most. You make these just over-the-top white trash family that nobody gives a shit about. You don't want to root for the killers. You want to root for the people. And this one, I root for the killer. But speaking of that, let's get into Mikey Myers, young Mikey Myers. I don't like the kid who was cast in the role. I don't like the fact that he found the mask as a child and put it on as a child. Looks really awful. Does not work. Wear the fucking clown costume as a kid. Don't put on an adult mask and walk around chasing people because it looks really silly. And I literally laughed hard out loud in the theater when I saw this. I mean, I laughed hard. People around me knew what I was laughing at, and some people would tell me to be quiet. Other people started to laugh along with me because it was absolutely ridiculous. I'll show it on screen if you guys want to see, but it's so awful. Of course, we have Sherry Moon Zombie in this film. We know he's going to cast her. She plays Michael Myers' mother, Deborah Myers. And of course, for some reason, there's this one scene where you see Michael, like sulking, and then you see her subtly dancing in which they changed the Red Rabbit into a strip club in this. Of course he does. It's Rob Zombie. He's got to trash it up. If it's not trashy, it ain't zombie. That should be the tagline for every one of his movies. If it ain't trashy, it ain't zombie, because it's just trash. And then, I don't like, what's the kid's name that plays him? I don't know how to pronounce this kid's name, I'll be honest with you. I do not. I'm going to try my best. I think it's Farich. I believe that's how you pronounce the kid's name. I don't think he did a good job in the role. They also retcon it so Michael's first kill isn't his sister. It's some bully who picked on him in school. We do see in the beginning he's like mutilating animals, and he's got a dead cat in his like school bag when they call in Dr. Sam Loomis to talk about what happened in the bathroom. Michael gets in a scuffle with these bullies. The principal comes in. Instead of being nice to the principal for breaking it up, he tells the principal to F off. And then the principal takes him to the principal's office. They bring in Dr. Loomis because of the stuff they find in Michael's bag. Dead cats, pictures of tortured dead animals. You know, the works that makes a serial killer. He just literally looked online, Rob Zombie did, what makes a good serial killer. Okay, animal mutilation, lashing out, blah, blah, blah. That's the way he just started to go through and pick every single one of them. Because for some reason, we need to know what causes Michael Myers to be a terrifying force of evil. But John Carpenter does not see it that way. If you like John Carpenter, a fan of the franchise before this shitty film, you know that that's not how Michael Myers is supposed to be portrayed. He is just an unstoppable force of evil. You don't need to see how the killer is made. You don't need to see his upbringing. Even John Carpenter hates this fucking movie, and I love the fact that he hates this movie. It makes me really happy inside when I find out he doesn't like this movie just as much as I don't like it.
On that biography and channel, and he lied about me. He said I was very cold to him when he told me I was going to, and that he was going to make it. Nothing could be further from the truth. I said, make it your own movie, man. You know, this is yours now. Don't worry about me. I was incredibly supportive. Why that piece of shit lied, I don't know. Frankly, that will color my response to the film. If I take that away, I thought that he took away the mystique of the story by explaining too much about the guy. I don't care about that. It's supposed to be a force of nature. He's supposed to be almost supernatural. Knowing about that and he was too big.
Yeah.
It wasn't normal.
So Michael kills the stepdad, played by William Forsythe. His name's Ronnie White. Piece of shit guy. Kills him. Kills his sister Judith, of course, as well. Kills the boyfriend as well, but spares the baby, which will end up being adopted and become Laurie Strode. Then we cut to, you know, after this whole scene, after the cops come, everything, we realize what's happening. Michael gets put into a insane asylum, and him and Loomis start having these conversations, and the more time goes on, the less Michael talks. And we get to the point where it gets down like years later, and we see Michael Myers as an adult, and Loomis can't, you know, they're taking him off the case because he can't get Michael to speak. We can't get any progress in this case. But also, Loomis is a piece of shit in this series. He cares more about selling his books about this kid than actually caring about this fucking kid. It's another thing that pisses me off about this movie so much. I hate it. When we see Michael years later, he's not a regular guy. He's a fucking tower of a guy. He's plays by Tyler Mane, who's an ex-wrestler. Dude is 6'8", massive dude, and he should not be playing Michael Myers. I've seen people say, well, this movie finally made Michael Myers scary. If that's what you think about Michael Myers, then you didn't understand Michael Myers to begin with. Because the scariest part about it is he's just a regular guy that snapped. That's it. Not being some massive tree trunk of a guy who would kill anybody because he's too powerful for anybody to get away. It's not Michael Myers. It's not. This movie, as we begin in that first half, Rob tries to do something different, which I'll give him a little bit of credit with, even though I hate it. I'll give him credit, he tried to do something different with the beginning of the film. But then we get to the second half of the film, which starts about 55 minutes in, and it's basically just a retelling of the first movie. It's just a carbon copy of the first film, except for a few things. We do get Danielle Harris as Annie Brackett, which is cool that he brought her into this franchise. It was really weird, though, seeing her on the couch making out with guys and, like, showing her topless when she used to be, like, the 12-year-old little girl in the Halloween series. Kind of weird. Kind of weird. I'll say that. It's just really weird seeing that. But let's get back into Scout Taylor Compton, shall we? I called her Scout Taylor Thomas earlier. It's Scout Taylor Compton. I just also realized she was in The Runaways with Kristen Stewart and Dakota Fanning. She was actually not bad in that role. But going back to this role in the Halloween franchise, the way she plays Laurie is this like spastic teen is really weird, and she's not like subtle, she's not like quiet, she's not shy, she's more an outgoing, sexually weird kid, and it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Very, very miscast, as much of Rob Zombie's stuff usually is. Now, one of the things I will say that he did well with casting in this was Brad Dourif as Sheriff Lee Brackett. That is a really good casting choice. I thought Brad Dourif did a really good job with what he was given, and I think he's a phenomenal actor. I'll give him super props for this. I didn't like Malcolm McDowell as Dr. Samuel Loomis in this. Really, really wrongfully cast in that as well. Just Rob Zombie and his casting director or casting agent do not do a very good job of picking these people for these roles. When I see Dr. Samuel Loomis in my head, current time, you know, having to cast somebody else, I don't see Malcolm McDowell. That doesn't fit. It doesn't work. And then turning him into this piece of shit who cares more about promoting his book and making money, which is more in the second film than this film. But in the director's cut, they do hint to that quite a bit more. But it just doesn't work. Like, don't do that to the character of Samuel Loomis. If you want to do that to the character, call him somebody else. Don't call him Samuel Loomis. It's just all the over-the-top crap that Michael Myers does. There's really fucked up scenes in the director's cut when Michael escapes the hospital. It's actually pretty disgusting, the scene that they film. I'm glad they changed it in the theatrical cut because it's just really awful what it's done. But there is a scene where these asshole orderlies break into Michael's room with one of the female patients to rape her in front of him. That's in the director's cut. That's his vision of the film. What the fuck, Rob Zombie? What are you doing? Like, I've seen a lot of reviews on this movie over the years, and a lot of people will say the same thing. That's a really disturbing scene, and it shouldn't have been in the movie. So I'm glad they cut it out in the theatrical. When I review this, I'm talking about both the theatrical and the director's cut. I'm bringing some things up, but a lot more people know the theatrical release, which is what I'm talking about the most. One scene I really did like in the film is when Michael goes to a truck stop and he wants to... It's a film between Big Joe Grizzly, played by Ken Foree, another really big dude. Michael breaks down the door of the stall he's in, and they have a very physical fight so Michael can take his clothes and his boots and stuff. I've read online and I've read some articles where they actually did that stunt together. No stuntmen were involved, and they actually really did destroy a stall. It's a really well done physical scene. And while I'm talking about that scene, I'm thinking more about the camera work from Rob Zombie. We get shaky cam in some movies, but then we get aggressive shaky cam in Rob Zombie movies. Like, I don't understand why you have to shake the camera that much where we can't even see what the fuck is happening on screen. You did a really bad job with this film, Rob Zombie. Like, you directed it so poorly that you almost destroyed the franchise. Way to go, you piece of shit. I have not watched 3 from Hell or anything he's done after this because I will not give him any more credit for any more films that he does because of what he did with Halloween. He wrote the whole thing, which makes sense because it's full of his tropes, like his white trash family, over-the-top bullshit, stupid humor that doesn't work. There are some decently gory kills in this. Their kills are okay. It's a very brutal Michael Myers, I will give you that. But you can make him a brutal Michael Myers without making him a 7-foot monster-looking guy. He's supposed to be a regular guy. I tell you what, I've seen interviews with Rob Zombie where he talks about John Carpenter's Halloween being one of his favorite films. I don't think he's ever watched it or understands what the fuck that movie's about. Because if he did, he would have done a very, very different film. He wouldn't have done this and made it something that it wasn't supposed to be ever. I'm done talking about this movie. I wanted to review it because I've never really kind of got all of my feelings out on camera, and I'm sure I've left a lot of shit out. And the score, it's not really well done at all. It's just a rip-off. Like, the second half of this movie is a ripoff of John Carpenter. The score is a John Carpenter ripoff as well. And I know that we all have to use that great John Carpenter score. Use the main theme, then write the rest of your own music, do your own thing. If you wanted to make a remake of Halloween, make a remake of Halloween. Not some Frankenstein's monster of what you think it should have been and what he did smashed together in one piece of shit movie that nobody should have ever seen. Massive thumbs down on this one. I hate this movie so much. As a fan of the Halloween franchise, I'd watch Halloween Resurrection on replay for a week before I'd watch this fucking movie again. That's how much I hate this movie. And I don't even like Resurrection. It's not that good. You will see a video towards the end of the month where I rank the entire Halloween franchise from worst to best, and I bet you can figure out what I'm going to put at the worst. So, but you might not know what I'm going to put at the best or in the middle, so you might want to tune in for those rankings. It's going to be fun. I'm actually going through it now. I'm having a good time doing it, rewatching the films as well. You'll see a lot more Halloween movie reviews on the channel for the rest of the month, not just this turd, but you'll see actually good Halloween movie reviews on this channel as well, so keep an eye out for that. I've also reviewed Halloween 2018, so you want to check that out, I'll leave it above right there. Thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed this review, even though all I did was shit on this movie. And if you guys have a different opinion on me, that's great. If you want to leave a comment below, let me know why. That's also great. I love hearing from you guys. Even if it's positive or negative comments, I love hearing from you guys. Leave a like on the video. It really does help us out. If you're new to the channel and you like what you see and you want to see some more, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications so you can stay up to date on everything we do here on the Geek Blend, including movie reviews and all the other videos we do on the 31 days of Halloween for the month of October. And links in the description for social media, Discord, and all the ways you guys can support the channel. You guys can also become a channel member if you would like. And if you do, you'll get loyalty badges next to your name when you comment or leave comments in live streams. You'll also get custom emojis, and you'll also get exclusive videos from me here on the channel and for the community tab for members only. So if you guys would check that out, or any other ways you can support the channel, we'd appreciate that. Thank you. And I want to say thank you to all my current channel supporters. Your names will either be scrolling below me and at the end in the title, or both. Not sure. Depends on how I do it. But I want to say thank you all for your support of the channel. It means a lot to me, and I want to say thank you. That'll do it for this video during the 31 days of Halloween. I'm Jeff. This is the Geek Blend. And remember, if you geek about it, we speak about it. Happy Halloween.